Sometimes I like to just stand on the top of the first dune and watch. I'm not looking at the landscape, I'm looking at the people. They arrive, they reach the crest, and then. Wow! I remember the first time I stood exactly where they are. I was 12 years old. It was shocking. It didn't feel like Brazil, it felt like I had stepped onto another planet entirely. At first glance, your brain tells you it's a desert. But Lençóis Maranhenses is something else. This place, on the northeast coast of Brazil, actually receives more rain than London or Scotland, about 1,600 millimeters a year. It's a surreal intersection of three different biomes. A rare biological overlap that supercharges biodiversity. Imagine 350 square miles of dunes, shifting and migrating up to 80 feet every single year. And then, when the rains come, the magic happens. Thousands of crystal-clear lagoons appear in the valleys of the sand, many of them large enough to lose yourself in. What makes this possible? And why, after 2 million years, does it still feel so mysterious? Lençóis Maranhenses is the largest field of dunes in South America. But its greatest secret lies beneath the surface. Some visitors look at these lagoons and wonder, why doesn't the water just sink? In a normal desert, the rain would vanish instantly. But here, underneath this massive field of sand, there is a layer of rock. Think of it like a giant bathtub. When the rainy season begins, the water level rises, trapped by that rock. It fills the holes between the dunes from the bottom up until the lagoons are born. When the dry season returns, the water evaporates and the levels drop. But the water never truly leaves. It's still there, hidden beneath the sand, waiting. But here is the trick, you can never see Lençóis Maranhenses twice. Everything is in a state of constant flux. If you find a perfect lagoon this year, don't expect to find it next year. The dunes are marching. They will bury that lagoon, and a new one will emerge further ahead. The architect of this landscape is the wind. On the coast, a massive tide range creates wide beaches at low tide. The sun dries the sand, and the strong, consistent winds lift those tiny grains and carry them inland. Scientists have measured these grains. They are incredibly small. The sand is so soft and loose that it doesn't just sit there. It flows down the slopes like water. It's beautiful, but it's disorienting. In Lencois, locals don't follow maps. Maps are useless when the landmarks move. We follow the wind and the ridgelines. I was born and raised here, in Ponta do May. My parents and grandparents were born here, too. We've lived with this rhythm our whole lives, but even we have to be careful. You can head out in the morning when the dune is flat, and by the time you return, the shape of the earth has changed. The wind erases car tracks in minutes. It can build a new dune in the middle of a path that was clear an hour ago. We call it the desert that breathes. I once spent a year camping here, living in tents, surveying the amphibians and reptiles of the park. That experience forged me. It changed how I view life. In this region, everything is mixed. We have salt marshes miles away from the ocean, a phenomenon rarely seen elsewhere. And the life here has adapted to the breath of the desert in incredible ways. Take the paninga, the water tiger turtle. It's endemic. It exists nowhere else on Earth. To survive the dry months, it digs deep into the dunes, lowering its metabolism to a near halt, literally waiting for the world to turn blue again. Then there are the fish. Their entire life cycle is often shorter than a year. They leave behind eggs that are resistant to the drought, lying dormant in the dry sand. When the rains return, the desert explodes into life almost instantly. It is a micro-laboratory. As we face a global climatic emergency, the lessons learned here, about resilience and extreme adaptation, might be the very ideas that help us survive. But there is a tension in this beauty. To live near the dunes is to live in a state of constant migration. Since we live near the dunes, sometimes we have to move. My father used to live among those dunes over there. But the sand kept growing, kept pushing. In our case, I think we have maybe 3 or 4 years left in our current home before the dunes claim it. We try to help where we can. When the lagoons begin to dry up, we move the fish from the shallow ponds into the deeper ones so they can survive just a little bit longer. If we don't, they die of drought. It's a constant battle against the evaporation of their world. It's a cycle of destruction and rebuilding. Every single year, the landscape is wiped clean and started anew. When I close my eyes and think about Lençóis Maranhenses, I don't think of the vastness. I think of the small things. I see a single dragonfly hovering over a lagoon. I see the white flowers with their roots dancing in the water. Visitors often tell me that when they stand out there, between the sand and the sky, they feel like they are breathing for the first time. It is a place that changes your mind, your soul, and your heart. I've spent my life studying this place, protecting it, and living within its shifting borders. It is a part of me. So much so, that I know what I want for the end. When I pass away, I want to be cremated. I want my ashes to be scattered here, moving from lagoon to lagoon. I want to move with the wind and the water, to be a part of the breath of this desert, forever.